Hello and welcome to Good Afternoon Ashland, a look into the news of Ashland University and the community. I'm Natalie Byler.
And I'm Bryce Gatton. Thanks for tuning in.
Our top story, class registration for the next academic semester is approaching. AUTV's Peyton O'Toole caught up with the university's academic advisors to get all the information that students need.
Students at Ashland University have reached spring break in the 2026 spring semester, which means that we have about 8 weeks left and are getting closer to class registration. I sat down with one of the academic advisors to learn more about the whole process.
So I'm an academic advisor for the College of Arts and Sciences. So I work with all students who are in the College of Arts and Sciences, which represents everything from biology to social work to criminal justice, anything in between.
Academic advisor Victoria O'Brien has some advice for students no matter the grade level.
So every single semester from now until you graduate, you're required to be green lighted. So to prepare for that appointment, I always encourage students to look through self-service to kind of be familiar with what classes they've already completed. You can also look at the curriculum guides, which are posted on Ashland's website, to get an idea of what's required. But your advisor is well versed in everything you need to take and can help walk you through it if you're not sure. If you're a junior, you very likely have a faculty advisor, so that's a professor in your department, so make sure you're checking in with them to get green lighted. If you'd like to have a final pair of eyes, look over your last 2 semesters of requirements. Professional advising is also available, so making sure that we're hitting that 120 hours that you need for graduation, making sure all your core is completed, making sure all your major requirements and minor requirements are completed. So just having a plan for those last 2 semesters.
If you need assistance or more information, you won't be left out to dry.
We have drop-in advising every Wednesday and Thursday from 8 to noon and 1 to 4, or you can schedule an appointment with me via the SOAR network, ashland.edu/SOAR, SOAR.
Peyton O'Toole, AUTV.
Thank you, Peyton. Let's take a look at the class registration dates for the university. Seniors will register on March 16th, juniors are on March 19th, the sophomore class will be on March 23rd, and the freshmen will be on March 26th.
On Wednesday, March 18th, in the faculty room of the John C. Myers Convocation Center, CEO of Jumpstart, Lauren Eve Novick, is coming to speak at the Burton D. Morgan Lecture. Novick's organization provides capital, services, and connections in order to help entrepreneurs grow and innovate their own company. This lecture is at 11 a.m., with also being free and open to the public, but needs to be registered in advance.
After a fire in late November, Amstutz Hall is expected to get a major remodel. The plans of the Amstutz remodeling is to turn the 9th floor into 2-bedroom apartments and a single 1-person handicap accessible apartment. The rest of Amstutz will be a single-person room with new pod-style restrooms, while also adding air conditioning units to each room. For more information about the Amstutz remodeling, go to thecollegian.com to read Aubrey Wood's article. In other news, Jazz at the Nest is returning once again on Thursday, March 5th in the Student Center at 7:30 p.m. The Ashland University's Music and Theater Department are coming off a wonderful performance at their Winter Chorale concert back on March 1st and is now focusing on this show before spring break. The last time the orchestra played at the Nest was back on October 14th.
Feeling a little generous? Well, the donation season is approaching with the Ashland University's Day of Giving. Out of the spring break, going from 8 a.m. Thursday, March 19th to 8 a.m. March 20th, athletic teams, academics, and other programs will be accepting cash donations. There are special awards for donors as well for the highest raising program, so make sure to donate in order to help the student experience here at Ashland. One athletic team is creating a fun experience for the Ashland community and themselves. AUTV's Chloe Kovenchek has the full story.
For the last 3 years, the Ashland University Swim and Dive team have been doing a fun way to raise money for their program. During the Day of Giving, they host a swimathon.
So a swimathon is our fundraising during the Day of Giving where everyone on the team swims for about 36 hours. It's now 24 hours this year, but it's a fun way to raise money for our program. And how it came to be came out 2 years ago because every team does something different for their program during Day of Giving. And swim team didn't have anything. I came to our coach at the time. He said, sure, let's do it. And then it's really popular around our team.
This event takes weeks of planning, and the team even gets help from the athletic department.
What I do with the organization is I first ask our seniors who are no longer on the team because it's after our season, see if they want to join it. They get first dibs on the selection process on the Excel sheet. Then I just send it out by grade level and to see how many people we can have be a part of this whole process. And then we reach out to other people such as alumni, faculty members, and other students who want to join part of it. And then just from that on is just moving to see how many spots we can filled. We also get help from the athletic department, like Kate Krakus. He comes in and gives us cameras for our live stream to help make it a better running production.
But this event is not just for the swimmers. They open it up for everyone to join. The team gets other AU students, faculty members, friends, and even former Ashland swimmers.
I think it's important for the alumni to come back because it shows like school spirit. They're big donors for our team. It shows that we like care and have events for our alumni at this university afterwards. It puts a better aspect of this university for people who may want to come here. It's like they see these nice alumni events are like, oh, so even after I graduate, you know, this is still something I come back to, be a part of the community and whatnot.
Even though the swimathon is shorter this year, the team is still very excited to swim.
Right now we just sent out to our senior class and we're now reaching out to some alumni members for it. We're in the very early process of it. We still got to get our cameras ready and squared away, but overall everyone's just excited to get this process going.
Make sure to stop by the pool or join the live stream so you don't miss the swimathon this year. Chloe Kovenchek, AUTV.
Thank you, Chloe. Make sure to tune in to the Swim and Dive team's live stream and watch them swim for 24 straight hours.
In other Ashland athletics, the baseball team is heading down to Florida as they compete in the Russ Matt Invitational. Ashland will play 5 games across 6 days, starting with Seton Hill on Thursday, March 5th, and ending on Tuesday, March 10th against Minnesota Duluth. Leading the way for the Eagles is senior Ryan Shimmick and graduate student Chris Franks, both with each double-digit hits. The Ashland University diving team is once again going to nationals. Divers Joey Lensick, Riley Hunt, and Macy Wade are looking to get past Black Tuesday in order to get to diving prelim session for a chance to become a national champion. Lensick and Hunt are coming off a strong Great Midwest Conference Championship meet as they were both named Diver of the Meet. This is Wade's first nationals meet, with it being both Lensick's and Hunt's third. The championships are being held in Evansville, Indiana, starting on Tuesday, March 10th. Even though spring break is around the corner, there are still plenty of games in action.
Let's take a look at upcoming games for Ashland Eagle Athletics. The stunt team is traveling to the state of Texas to compete in 4 games, with 2 on Friday and 2 on Saturday, with action starting against Texas Women's University.
The women's and men's tennis is traveling to Kentucky on Saturday for a doubleheader matchup against University of Pikeville and King University.
The women's golf team is competing in a 3-day Emerald Coast Classic, while the softball team are competing in the Spring Games, which is 6 days filled with 10 different games.
And the women's lacrosse team is traveling to Illinois on Sunday for a matchup against Quincy University. Coming from college athletics to the professional league.
I sat down with AUTV's Miles Irvin and Brett Alberts to talk about the current NBA season.
Things are heating up in the NBA world as we're now in the month of March. I'm Miles Irvin here with Bryce Gatton and Brett Alberts. Guys, still a little over a month left to go in the regular season. What is one storyline that fans should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, I think one, especially in the Western Conference, that race is always tight. But the Spurs are right on the heels of Oklahoma City Thunder for that 1 seed. I think that's going to be something to watch coming down the stretch because it's such a young team that the Spurs are. But to be the 2 seed and almost be the 1 seed like they are right now, I think is huge. And obviously not a lot of playoff experience, but even just them having that 1 seed, I think can build the confidence for them to even potentially win a playoff series or go far going down the stretch.
And then a big thing too, I mean, with the OKC Thunder and the Spurs have beaten the Thunder 4 times this year, so if they get close or get tied, they have that tiebreaker. And the Spurs have shown that against the very elite teams, they have played really well, except for their last game against the New York Knicks that did struggle a little bit, but before that they were on that huge win streak. So definitely for a young team, it's very impressive to do what they're doing so far.
Yeah, and the Spurs, of course, led by Victor Wembanyama, an alien out there. It's always incredible to see what he does on the floor.
Right.
But with such a young team, do you guys think that they are a legitimate threat to contend for an NBA championship this season?
I mean, I don't think so, honestly. I think they'll struggle a little bit. I think they can win a playoff series. I think whoever comes out of that play-in, I think they'll have a good shot at winning at least a playoff series. But in terms of championship contenders, I'm looking towards the Thunder. I'm still looking towards the Nuggets, even though they've struggled in the past. They just have that experience. I just don't think the Spurs are at that level just yet to win a championship. I think they're maybe a year or even two out of that.
I'll be honest, I know, like, obviously they are young, but I do think they have the capabilities of making a, like, I wouldn't say a Cinderella story, but I think they have a chance to make it far because, I mean, with every team they play, like, who's going to match up with Wembanyama? And they have three really great guards in De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, along with Dylan Harper as well. So those three, you never know in the playoffs. I think the Spurs could definitely make some noise.
Yeah, I'd agree with Bryce. I don't think they're quite there this season, but they do have the guy in Wembanyama that could definitely take them far. But Brett, how about you? What's the storyline you're looking at?
I would say for me would be the Boston Celtics. I mean, you're talking about a team that's second in the East without Jason Tatum, 41-20, and with reports coming out that he might have a chance to come back Friday. So you're talking about a top 5 guy potentially in the NBA when healthy coming back to that team with the players that they have, and Jaylen Brown having an MVP caliber season, Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench now, having a great campaign to be Sixth Man of the Year yet again with all the great pieces they have around them. I think the Boston Celtics could be really dangerous in the playoffs.
And especially after that trade for Nikola Vucevic, them getting that big that they've been looking for, I think that's also huge to that. And obviously you said Tatum potentially coming back, Brown at that MVP level. I think he's a lock for All-NBA first team after the seasons he's had, especially with some guys not reaching that games mark. I think it's just been so impressive what they've been able to do. Did not see them as a 2 seed whatsoever. And as always, they're always sticking around and have a chance to make some noise come playoff time.
Absolutely, one of the pleasant surprises in the league. Do you guys have any concerns with the potential of him coming back, that messing up the rhythm of them? Because they've been hot all season long, and you're integrating a guy that's used to being a number 1 option.
Well, obviously, those are going to be guys like Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, those like shooters that are kind of had to step up into a different role. Maybe Jaylen Brown as well, because Jaylen Brown's had to take a lot of the load of the shots. But when you have a guy like Tatum come back who said to his doctor, he goes, I'm not coming back to be a role player. So he tells you that he wants to get back to right where he was, and that was the MVP caliber season when they won the championship back in 2024. So, and then obviously in 2025 playoffs, losing to the Knicks going down. He was having a great game before he got hurt. So I think Tatum's going to want to come back and do what he does. But I think if he takes it slow and then figures out his role into this team, I think that'll make it even more dangerous than what they already are.
Absolutely. Should be a fun last month of the regular season. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, fellas. Coming up next on Good Afternoon, Ashland, it's tournament time. Who is in and who is out?
Miles Irvin and Brett Alberts join us once again for the full GMAT coverage. Stay right there. We will be right back.
AUTV is Ashland University's award-winning TV station. Being a part of the Journalism and Digital Media Department, AUTV can guarantee students growth by giving them hands-on experience with studio, remote, or digital content. Take a look at our program today by visiting youtube.com/@AshlandJDM.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ashland. I'm Miles Irvin.
And I'm Brett Alberts. And Miles, postseason basketball is upon us.
That's right. Round 1 of the Great Midwest Athletic Conference Tournament started yesterday with both the Eagles men's and women's basketball teams taking on the Northwood Timberwolves. Brett, in the girls matchup, they were the 8th seed against the number 1 seed in the conference, the Northwood Timberwolves, who had only lost 1 game in the GMAC all season. They put up a pretty good fight, but ultimately couldn't get the job done, falling 79-72.
Yeah, I mean, and led by the Eagles was, freshman player, Jenna Slates for the Eagles. She's had an incredible season, one of the best that we've seen in a while at this Ashland University program, which is saying a lot. There's been a lot of great post players that come through. She finished with 21 points, 13 rebounds, another double-double, 10 for 19 from the field. Also additions was Alyssa Lopez with 16 points, and then Ashton Mullet with 10 points. So those three were kind of the driving forces of the scoring for the Eagles, but just unable to, beat the Timberwolves, which is a very tough team to play, as you mentioned, number 1 seed.
Yeah, and they played really well. I mean, looking at the quarter-by-quarter numbers there, the Eagles didn't really get blitzed in any of these quarters. The first quarter, they got outscored by 2, then by 3, then by 2, as you see the other matchups that took place yesterday as well. But overall, the Eagles were just never able to really gain that rhythm. They had a 5-point lead midway through the third quarter, but then the Timberwolves' incredible duo of Leah Holmes and Maeve St. John really stepped up, started to take control, and the better team ended up winning.
Yeah, Maeve St. John and Leah Holmes have been the dynamic duo, if you will, of the Northwood Timberwolves all season long. And in that game, Leah Holmes, 19 points, Maeve St. John, 18 points. The last time these two teams played, we saw Northwood. You were down there at the game, actually, Miles. You saw Maeve St. John was magnificent from downtown. So they can really hurt you when they have that 1-2 punch of St. John and Leah Holmes.
Absolutely. So Northwood moves on to that second round matchup where they will be the host team for the remainder of the Final Four, and what should be a fun next couple games in the semifinals that will take place on Friday, as Northwood will take on Findlay in that game on Friday at 5:30 p.m. And then Findlay will take on Malone. Findlay, an upset victory, able to defeat Thomas More. So those two teams also playing. Brett, what do you think of the matchups?
Well, I think it's really incredible for Findlay to get the upset. And obviously, it's the playoffs; anything can happen. And then that Walsh versus Northwood game is obviously going to be really good as well. But I mean, Northwood being the home court advantage, I think they got that one in the bag.
Absolutely. Northwood definitely the favorite in that game, if you will. Brett, final thing before we move on to the men's. Obviously, the Eagles, we knew coming in with a little more inexperienced, a lot of younger players with all the players that graduated out from this dynasty of a program, if you will. We knew that it could be a little bit of a slower season. How do you think it went overall, and what do you think they need to add in order to contend next year?
Well, obviously, I mean, it's a bit of a kind of a roller coaster for this Eagles team. Obviously, with the injuries of Lexi Howell and Corey Vermillion, two of the better players, better scorers on this team to help provide that for this Eagles team, and then obviously just getting more experience. And I think that next year when everyone's back and healthy and they have a lot of the same players back. They only lose Alyssa Lopez. That's about it. So I think for this team, if they can just learn to play more together, use this loss as motivation, go into the offseason, and then prepare for next season.
And a lot of experienced players also going out to graduation from across the rest of the conference. So the Eagles, with a little bit more continuity heading into next year, could be in the mix to contend for another GMAC title. Meanwhile, on the men's side, the Eagles were able to host the Timberwolves as the 3-6 matchup. It was the first time the Eagles were able to host a postseason game in 3 years, and they were able to come out on the high side, winning 67-52.
Yeah, and that was led by senior Maceo Williams, who's had another great senior campaign. I mean, 21 points, 11 rebounds, a double-double, 8 for 16 from the field, shooting 50%, as you see the other scores across the men's GMAC as well. And also in that game as well was Bo Siegfried off the bench for the Eagles that played incredible. 14 points, 3 big three-pointers, all timely threes as well. So the Eagles got a lot of production from Maceo Williams and off their bench as well with Bo Siegfried.
Yeah, career high game from the freshman Bo Siegfried. They'll need more of that heading into this game on Friday in the semifinals, where they take on a very hot Lake Erie Storm team that's won their last 10 games in a row. Those two teams will be playing at Walsh, the #1 seed in the overall tournament. The Cavaliers taking on the Oilers at 5 p.m. on Friday. The Eagles taking on the Storm at 7:30. Brett, the Eagles fell to the Storm in both the matchups earlier in this season. Lake Erie, just a team that can really hurt you from three-point range, forcing turnovers. What do you think of that matchup?
Oh, it's going to be a very fast-paced game. I mean, Lake Erie likes to press. They like to get up and down. They average most points in the Great Midwest Athletic Conference, but they also give up the most points as well. So the Eagles are going to have their opportunities, and it is very tough to beat a team 3 straight times. Obviously, with the Eagles beating Northwood 3 straight times, but I think the Eagles do match up really well with Lake Erie, and they're going to have to be able to handle the basketball because Lake Erie loves to cause turnovers. So if they can do that, I think the Eagles will make this game very interesting.
Yeah, and they do that with their full court press that they have the entire game. And it's interesting, you and I were talking earlier about how the other two teams in this tournament, looking at Walsh and Findlay, also play that same style. So really the Eagles are the unique team in this bunch here that kind of doesn't play that way.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles kind of like to, get in the half court, try to wear you down and just kill you on the inside with Maceo Williams and Jason Moore. But like I said, the key for the Eagles is to be able to handle the basketball and get through those presses. Obviously, that Walsh-Findlay game is going to be unreal the game before. Then the Eagles game at 7:30 against Lake Erie, that's going to be even better.
Absolutely. You can catch that Eagles-Storm game on 88.9 WRDL tomorrow. Both of us will be in attendance for that game, and we'll have all the coverage for you. But a ton of good action ahead of us. Coming up next on Good Afternoon Ashland, a look to see if the stars are aligned.
And how long will the rain stay with us? AUTV's St. Vincent will tell us shortly, so make sure not to go anywhere. More Good Afternoon Ashland right after this.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ashland. Feeling the St. Patrick's Day spirit, the city of Ashland is dyeing the creek green. Ashland's mayor, Matt Miller, will kick things off with the creek dyeing, which will lead into a party and parade. The holiday festivities start on March 11th and on Saturday, March 14th.
A dinner and a show. Ashland's Church of the Nazarene is hosting a Meals and Melodies on Saturday, March 14th at 5:30 p.m. The event is the 100th anniversary project where there will be 4 musicians performing. Food at the event is consisting of ham, mashed potatoes, and mixed vegetables. This event has limited seating with tickets being $20.
Calling all Bachelorette lovers, downtown Ashland is hosting a viewing party for the new Bachelorette season. The night starts with a drink of your choice at Downtown Perk, with it ending at South Street Grill, where the episode will be aired. Other activities will be held are tattoos, piercings, and permanent jewelry. Tickets for this event is starting at $30.
Paddington the Bear is coming to Ashland. A free family concert is being available for all ages. The event is called Paddington Bear's First Concert, where children are encouraged to bring their own stuffed animal. There will also be other pre-concert activities and an instrument petting zoo. The event takes place on Saturday, March 28th in the Archer Lobby at 2 p.m., with AUTV's very own Lauren Golden narrating the event. A deeper look into our cosmos.
AUTV's Maddie Gorzinski has all the information for you to know about the planets and the moon.
Hi, welcome to your Cosmic Compass. I'm Maddie Gorzinski, and let's see what our outlook is for this week. So we are currently witnessing a total lunar eclipse, or a blood moon, which acts as a global refresh button. It's the cosmos' way of crossing out a chapter in history that no longer works, which is forcing a purge of our old systems. And looking further into that point, for the first time since 1702, Saturn and Neptune have met at the very first degree of the zodiac, or 0 degrees Aries. This is the prime meridian of the sky, and it represents a hard reset where the old rules of the world dissolve to make room for a new 36-year cycle. And then looking back into history, in 1702, this alignment triggered the War of the Spanish Succession, which was a global fight over a power vacuum and trade routes. And today we see that reflected over the same pattern, a world-shifting conflict over who will lead the next country and century. And then looking at the fall of regimes, the blood moon energy is radical endings manifesting on Earth. Through the massive strikes in Iran, the death of the supreme leader, and the literal ending of an era that the stars have allured to, mirroring the leadership transitions of 1702 and 1989, back when the Berlin Wall fell. And then the closure of the Strait of Hormuz has frozen 20% of the world's oil supply. And this is the 0 point in action where the veins of the old world are constricted, forcing humanity to find an entirely new way to function. While the world is in chaos right now, the signs are being hit differently. So looking at our action signs first, such as fire and earth, you guys are being pushed to build new structures, while the healing signs, air and water, are clearing through the mental fog of war to find the truth. And that is it for your Cosmic Compass. Thank you for listening. This is Maddie Gorzinski, AUTV News.
Thank you, Maddie. Joining us now is our weather reporter, Sam Vincent. Sam, what do you have for us?
Well, Bryce and Allie, I have our 5-day weather forecast, so let's take a look at what to expect in the city of Ashland. Today, it'll be mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of rain during the day, becoming much more likely at night when there will be a 90% chance, a high of 52 and a low of 35. Tomorrow, rain is likely, with a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, a high of 60 and a low of 48. On Friday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain in the morning, then partly sunny in the afternoon. It'll be mostly cloudy at night, with a chance of rain after midnight. Expect warmer temperatures with a high of 69 and a low of 51. On Saturday, there is a near 100% chance of rain during the day, and a mostly cloudy night with a 30% chance of evening rain, a high of 67 and a low of 52. And on Sunday, expect partly cloudy morning skies, which will clear, gradually becoming partly cloudy again in the evening, a high of 58 and a low of 42. That is your 5-day weather forecast. Now back to you, Natalie and Bryce.
Thank you, Sam. Coming up on Good Afternoon Ashland, gaming update on the aspect of video games.
and also some upcoming events. See what is happening on campus. Good Afternoon Ashland will be right back after this.
The Collegian is a student-run campus newspaper offering important headlines in and around Ashland University. The Collegian offers students hands-on experience in the field of journalism. Between news, sports, and features, the Collegian has you covered. You can read online at ashland-collegian.com.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ashland. Video games has been with us across multiple decades. AUTV's Drake Crumley has all the news you need to know.
Hello and welcome to AUTV News for a spotlight on video game news. My name is Drake Crumley and this is your gaming update. Video games have been around longer than I've been alive, along with most of my professors, and that means there are lots of exciting developments constantly happening. For example, the lightning-fast blue little critter known for being the mascot of Sega, that's right, Sonic the Hedgehog is returning to the big screen next year. Revealed yesterday, March 2nd, the fourth installment in the Sonic film franchise has begun production following success from the third film released in December of 2024. And in competition with Sega, Nintendo, the hit company behind games such as Super Mario, Pokemon, Zelda, and Donkey Kong, announced yesterday a new Indie World Showcase. The showcase kicked off at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today to highlight and bring updates to upcoming indie games coming to the Nintendo Switch 1 and Switch 2. And lastly, some very exciting news has come from Xbox, the gaming brand created by tech giant Microsoft in 2001. As of lately, the company has been encountering its fair share of challenges and complications, and the departure of Xbox head Phil Spencer drawing some concern for many Xbox fans on the future of the company, myself included. Thankfully, as Xbox celebrates 25 years of bringing unique gaming experience to the player, new CEO Asha Sherman seems optimistic with the degree to take Xbox back to its roots, and it seems like the future of Xbox is still safe for now. She was quoted saying, "We will build for the future of play," something that brings a hopeful outlook for Xbox fans. The gaming world certainly has a lot to be happy about, and that just makes me happy as a slice of video game pie. I'm Drake Crumley. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Drake. Even though spring break is a few days away, there are still events happening around campus.
That's right. Let's take a look at some upcoming events. On March 5th, make sure to stop by the Rec Center at 1 p.m. to see Teddy the Therapy Dog.
The opening reception for the Coburn Art Gallery opens on March 5th at 4:30 p.m. with the exhibit being titled AU Juried Student Art and Design Exhibition.
At 7 p.m. on Thursday, March 5th, the Thomistic Institution is holding a discussion on the foundation of Thomistic philosophy in the Bixler Building, Room 104.
Rounding out the week, the Art Club and the Student Dietetic Association are hosting an event called Berry Painting on March 5th at 7 p.m., where participants can come and paint with berries and learn about their nutritional value.
Before we say goodbye, we want to remind you on how to stay up to date with all media here at Ashland University's Journalism and Digital Media Department. To stay up to date with everything AUTV, make sure to follow us across all social media at AUTV Ashland. And make sure to tune in to 88.9 WRDL, AU's student-run award-winning radio station. Listen live at 88.9 FM and online at WRDLFM.com.
And last but not least, don't forget to pick up a copy of AU's award-winning newspaper, The Collegian. Also check ashland-collegian.com for more news and information. That will be it for this episode. From everyone at AUTV, thank you for watching. I'm Natalie Byler.
And I'm Bryce Gatton. Have a good afternoon, Ashland.